Hi guys, welcome back to Matt Dudley PT, where today is testing day. I hope you guys enjoy watching this a lot more than I enjoy doing it. There's a few things that I'd like to clear up. Three phrases that I'll be using during this series of videos. Phrases you've probably heard before, but not really understood. That's pretty much the case for 90% of people. So the first one is mind-muscle connection, which is basically, by definition, be mindful of what muscles are needed to be contracted to apply what force and in what direction. As you practice resistance training or weight training, this will become better and you will be able to contract muscles without applying any force. I'll give you a few examples of that, as far as you may see some bodybuilder types flexing their pecs. They don't necessarily need to be on a bench press with a barbell on them for them to be able to do this. They've got that mind-muscle connection, so they can just do it at will. Second of all, we've got neutral spine, which we'll go through now just to see how we find our neutral spine. And number three is engage your core. Now, a lot of people think this is just about sort of bracing your stomach and tensing your stomach muscles, getting those six-pack abs to show. It's not about that. There is a part of it that involves that, but not necessarily all of it. There's a lot more to it than that, which we'll cover now. What we're going to do now is find our neutral spine. Now, a lot of people have never done this before and they don't really understand what it means. So, if you've got a bit of floor space free, get on the floor, do this with me now, okay? All we're going to do is lie on our backs, right? Arms by the side. I want you to pull your shoulder blades back and down, okay? Are you there with me now? I'm going to bring our knees up. So the only points now touching the floor are our feet, the base of our spine, our shoulder blades, and our head, okay? With your shoulders back and down, what I want you to do is apply a pelvic tilt, which basically means contracting your stomach muscles to tilt your pelvis, and we're going to push your lower back into the floor. So it's just that motion there, okay? So after we've done that a few times, what we're going to do is find a happy medium. So keeping our shoulder blades down and back, what we're going to do, arms by the side, we're just going to relax. We're going to contract our stomach muscles around 20%, and I want you just to hold that position. Just remember that position there. That is your neutral spine, okay? That is the position that you need to be in when doing the majority of exercises, depending on the exercise, obviously, but your deadlift, your squat, your bench press, your shoulder press, all of these big ones requiring a lot of energy to move a lot of weight, they require perfect form, and this neutral spine here is exactly what we're talking about. Right then guys, so now that we've found our neutral spine, how do we make sure that it stays put? We need to engage our core. How to do that? Right, it's not just about tensing your stomach muscles, although that is the first step for me. So there's a number of different cues that you can use for this. The first one being, I like to think of it as you're going to take a really nice good punch to the stomach. What you're going to do, you're going to brace. Okay, so there's that brace there. So you're contracting those main abdominals. Now what you're going to do is, because you've now hunched over, you're going to correct that and stand up. You're maintaining that contraction. Okay? Second of all, what we're going to do is your belly button, we're going to pull in. Okay? I'm going to pull it in and up. And then second of all, what we're going to do is we're going to activate our pelvic floor. Now, how do we do that? The one for me is basically, just imagine you're in the middle of a pee and you need to stop. There you go. Now you've engaged your core. Now, in order to set some targets, we need some data to work from, and today is about getting that data. Now, there are a number of different aspects of fitness that I'm going to be testing. One that I'm really not looking forward to is cardio endurance, so we'll be getting that one out of the way with first. A couple of tests that I'm going to be doing to measure this, which is the 1.5 mile run, so how quickly I can do that, and the step test, which is how many... Hi guys, right, I just got back from my run, and I just thought I'd post this to say, if anybody thinks that I've done it slower than I possibly could to show an improvement, you're wrong, because
I feel like I'm tired. I'll be honest, I've had a couple of minutes to sort of try and compose myself because I was on the verge of being sick. I've managed to get my breath a bit now. No point in lying during testing. You'd always have it in the back of your mind. Let's have a look, see how we did. 2.22. That's not a mile and a half. It's supposed to be 2.4. 12.27. Not happy with that, guys. Not happy.
Guys, quickly moving on. Next we've got the step test. So 3 minutes of stepping up onto a 30 centimetre high step continuously. After that we'll be measuring our heart rate. I've got controlling factor, so my pace keeper, which is my up, up, down, down, to make sure I'm not going too fast or too slow. After that we'll see how we get on. Right, 98, not bad. So the next aspect of fitness that I'll be testing is muscular endurance. One I'm really not looking forward to. To do this, I'll be doing 4 different exercises. So we've got push-ups, pull-ups, squats and dips. For push-ups and squats, we'll basically be seeing how many we can do in a single minute. So it's just 60 seconds going for it. And for dips and pull-ups, it's going to be basically how many I can do, regardless of time. For all 4 exercises, I will be going through different teaching techniques so that we've got proper form, and we'll go from there. Next up, number of press-ups in a minute. A couple of teaching points regarding press-ups. A lot of people will, let's basically say, there's winging it. So there's arms out like this, elbows out to the side. What we'd like to do is keep our hands shoulder width apart and then bring our elbows down to the sides like that. Okay. Now, again, we're going to be maintaining our neutral spine and engaging our core. And I've got my little stopwatch here, so we'll go. And we'll go on 10 seconds, gone. Right then guys, next we've got pull-ups, total number of pull-ups, regardless of time. Couple of teaching points. As usual, we are going to be maintaining a neutral spine and engaging our core. And basically by engaging our core, what that stops is the shakiness and the energy expenditure. Instead of going up and down, we're sort of wiggling about. By engaging our core, we stabilize ourselves so that we're just focusing on going up and down. One other common mistake as well is not retracting our scapulars. A lot of people just focus on getting their head and their chin above the bar, hence the word chin up. What we're going to be aiming to do is really pull our shoulders and our scapulars back and aim to get our chest up as high as we possibly can. Another common mistake is the half rep. So whereas people will come down to about there, say a 45 angle on their arms, and then they'll come back up. What we're going to be aiming to do is come all the way down, lock our arms, not necessarily relax our shoulders. We'll still keep our shoulders back, but keep our arms locked. try and demonstrate that for you a little bit better now. Right then guys, up next we've got squats. Number of squats we can do inside 60 seconds. Couple of teaching points. What we're going to do, we're going to maintain that neutral spine, we're going to engage our core. More fundamentally, I just wanted to explain that normally, yes, we do squats with a barbell on our back to add weight. However, with bodyweight squats, it is perfectly okay to put your arms out, to brace, to offset that balance. Now, what we're going to try and do, what we should be doing anyway with any squat, is maintaining 100% of our weight in our heels. The balls of our feet and our toes are there simply for balance. We should be pushing through the heels of our feet, pushing our heels through the floor. And that's what I'm hopefully going to demonstrate right now. Right to there, okay? So we're coming down to a right angle, bum nice and low, core engaged, and to there. Okay, so when we are ready, right then guys, next up is dips. I'm going to try and perform as many dips as I possibly can, basically using a good old dip station. A couple of teaching points. We're going to maintain a neutral spine by engaging our core, but not only that, basically same as press-ups. Instead of winging it and coming out too far, putting pressure on our rotator cuffs, we're going to keep our elbows in, come down, press back up. Okay. The next aspect of fitness that I'm going to be testing is power. So just two exercises. I'm going to be really looking forward to these. The one being a standing jump, and the next one being a 100-meter sprint, which I'm actually really quite intrigued about, simply because back in the school days, 20 years ago, however long it was, I used to do the 100 meters in around 13.5 seconds, which wasn't bad for a 15, 16-year-old kid. Now, my 6-year-old is probably quicker than me right now, so I'm actually hoping that I can get somewhere near that time. Although I might surprise myself, who knows? Hi guys, I've just done my standing jump and I didn't really think this through. I didn't consider just exactly how high I could jump or reach. What I've done is, I'll show you. Basically, got a bit of paint on my fingers and then found somewhere tall enough for me to reach after my one max standing jump. And the only place I could really find was last aspect of fitness that I'm going to be testing, which is my favourite, which is basically strength. So we'll be focusing on compound exercises. So we've got bench press, deadlift, squat. These are my favourite exercises. It's the ones that I like to practice the most of. I'm going to throw in overhead barbell press as well. Again, with all 4 of these, I find that it's absolutely crucial to get your form perfect. So I'll be going through the teaching techniques with all of these as we go. And yeah, we'll see what the results throw up. All right then guys, swiftly moving on, all warmed up now, and we'll be moving on to 1 rep maxes. So not trying to break any records here, we've got 4 compound exercises, including what we're going to be starting with, which is the overhead barbell press. I've done a few warm-up sets, so I'm ready to go. Just a few teaching points regarding overhead barbell press. A lot of people, they don't keep the shoulders back and down, and it's a case of they'll do a little bit of this to try and get it up. Is keep the shoulders back, down, arms in a neutral position. So what I mean by that is we're not going to flare the elbows and try and push it out. Okay, we're going to keep the points between our elbow and our wrists directly underneath each other, so there's no additional pressure on our wrists or our elbows. All the pressure is being generated by the shoulders, and we're just going to come up to there and then back down. Right then guys, moving on to bench press. 3 points of contact. So you should have on the bench, you should have your bottom, your shoulder blades pinched back and down, and then the back of your head. The back of your head does not come off the bench. That's how you injure your neck. Similarly, you don't lift your shoulders to lift. You keep your shoulders back and down, keep your feet and your bum firmly planted. Slight arch in that back, the lower the back. One of the most common mistakes that people make when bench pressing is very similar to your press up. They wing it. So basically your elbows come out here and then they have a very wide grip and they try and push up and out like that. You're putting additional pressure on your elbows and your wrists by keeping the weight directly underneath, so your elbow and your wrist all in line, and pushing straight up vertically with those. You're generating all the pressure from basically the areas that you want to work, which is your pecs, a little bit of your front delts, so basically coming up to there. Okay, hopefully I'll try and demonstrate it. I've done a few warm-up sets, I'm going to start adding some weight now. guys, moving on to squats. Now, a couple of things that I mentioned in our bodyweight squat. What we're going to aim to do, we've still got the core engaged, we've got that neutral spine, shoulders back and down, got that nice little arch. Now, what we're going to try and do is get our bum below our knees so that at least we're parallel with the floor. Now, one of the mistakes that a lot of people make as soon as they start adding weight to their squat is on the way down, they'll come down, yeah, and then they'll extend at the knees before extending at the hip. What we're going to aim to do is come up simultaneously, so both are coming up, which is hopefully what I'll try and demonstrate right now. Hi guys, next up we've got deadlift. I'm not going to lie, I've been looking forward to this one, it's my favourite exercise. A couple of teaching points. All we're going to do, we're going to plant our feet shoulder widths apart, and basically I don't want anyone to think of this as like a lift with your back. I want you to think of it as a leg press. So basically we're going to lock our arms, pull our shoulders back, we're going to keep our feet shoulder widths apart, and we're going to drive our feet through the floor. This is one of those exercises that you really have to engage your core on. Once you do that and then start to drive your feet, you'll naturally feel that bar lift. Hopefully I can demonstrate that for you, but I will be doing this in a little bit more detail at a later date. I find that this one's really important. If through these videos I have inspired you to start exercising and you wish to join me on this journey and track your own progress, please, before any testing, warm up properly. If you don't know how, I will be doing a video on this at a later date. Until then, please stay tuned.